switch over to David. So, ich hoffe, wir sind jetzt online. Shalom, ve'erev tov mi Germania. Herzlich willkommen zu einer weiteren Online-Veranstaltung der Deutsch-Israelischen Gesellschaft, Arbeitsgemeinschaft Bonn. Mein Name ist Ursula Schmidt. Sie kennen mich vielleicht noch von den vorangegangenen Online-Veranstaltungen. Heute Abend ist uns zugeschaltet David Witzthum, israelischer Fernsehmoderator, als einer der Hauptmoderatoren der nächtlichen Nachrichtensendung Mehayom Lemachar bekannt, und er war langjähriger Korrespondent des israelischen Hörfunks und Fernsehens in Deutschland. Er wird heute Abend die Moderation für uns übernehmen. Doch bevor ich an ihn das Wort abgebe, lassen Sie mich unseren heutigen Ehrengast, zugeschaltet aus Tel Aviv, Yossi Mar-Chaim, begrüßen. Shalom, Yossi.
Shalom, how are you?
Good, thank you. Wir werden uns mit Yossi heute auf eine musikalische Reise begeben und verschiedene Stationen seines Lebens und seines Schaffens beleuchten und Ihnen einige Ausschnitte einblenden und vorspielen. Wie immer können Sie Ihre Fragen über die Kommentarfunktion bei YouTube stellen und ich leite Ihre Fragen dann an Yossi bzw. an David weiter. Ich begebe mich gleich in den Hintergrund und übergebe das Wort dann an David. Hier noch ein kurzer Hinweis. Auch nach unserem Livestream bleibt die Aufzeichnung auf unserem YouTube-Kanal für Sie erhalten. And now let me welcome you also in English to our one-hour interview with Yossi Mar-Chaim, who turned 80 last week. Today, we want to celebrate with him, and I'm very happy and thrilled to welcome him as well as our moderator, David Witzthum, from Tel Aviv and Jerusalem tonight. Needless to introduce them, you all know both of them for sure. So before I retreat to the background, let me tell you what we're up to. David and Yossi will have a conversation about his life, about his musical performance, and we will show you some of Yossi's works, a wild potpourri from classics to film music to rock opera and live performance. You'll see. You can leave your question or a comment in our live chat on YouTube. And while you do so, please like our video and channel. The interview will remain on our channel for those who are not able to attend tonight. So please spread the word. And now, sof, it's time for you, David. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Ursula. Guten Abend nach Bonn, nach Deutschland. וערב טוב לך, יוסי מר-חיים.
ערב טוב.
ערב טוב. אני מציע שנעשה את המסע הזה. I suggest that you will do this journey on two simultaneous tracks. One of them would be a conversation, which will go thematically for two themes, you know, your life, your music, your opinions, you know, perhaps a bit politics, who knows, whatever. And the other one would be a selection of excerpts from your work. And this would not exactly, you know, simulate.
Doesn't have to be parallel.
We'll introduce it along the way, okay?
Okay.
So, let's start the journey. You are the eternal youngster of Israeli music, yes, even today. And but I want to go with you to Jerusalem, 1940.
Well, I was born in 1940.
Exactly.
So that makes me now 80 and a week. And the first thing that I was really remembering was noise, a lot of noise. Some of it come with sirens, alarm system, which that was told me later that it was the Second World War. There was Italian was bombarding Tel Aviv. So, but in Jerusalem they were scared, so they made the siren, and we all hear.
Yes, we are lucky it was the Italians, not others.
Yes, and it repeated itself in 1948. I mean, I was lucky to hear the 29th of November, the declaration of having the vote in United Nations and have and got a country. We were all night, though we were very young, We were out in the street, shouting all kinds of slogans. 48, we have to live in a shelter for a while because my house, the King George Street, was just facing the Arab Legion, and we got a lot of bullets, so we just hid in a shelter. My parents told me I was very scared. I don't remember anything of it. I remember once that I got for breakfast a piece of bread with margarine and sugar. Actually, we had nothing. We went and we bought ice, we bought water. I think it was a good time to be born in 1940.
Yes, good time to be born in Israel at that time.
Yes.
Not in Europe, of course. Yes, but I mean, you're talking about noise, and noise is really one of the things that that define part of your musical career. I mean, there are so many parts of it, but part of it is the noise of building, the noise of sirens, the noise, many noises that you describe in your your papers.
The grass, the things that clear that goresalim, I don't remember the English word for it. A leaf, the one that you suck, a leaf sucker. So I did really from 2008, when a place called Shimmer was founded, started to make noise productions. Started with tape loops, which got me the title Veteran Loopmaster, and then from noises of kitchenware, car accidents, things that I collect. Especially, I love wrecking of houses. Like if I come and I know that there's a house is going to be destroyed, it gets a sound. I have the sound of Allenby 58 being destroyed, and all kinds of things like that. I like to put them, but with music. I'm very different from other noise musicians because I know I've been to noise clubs in Berlin, for instance, and they are more aggressive. Also in Israel, they are very aggressive. Who said that a noise should be of high volume in order to be felt?
Yes, I mean, even John Cage said that silence is a kind of noise. It is.
Of course, but how about these crickets and what do you call it, the Gamal Shlomo in English? Grasshopper?
Yes, grasshopper, exactly.
There is records of them. It's a very, very gentle noises. And if you put it together, you get something like meditational music of insects.
Yes.
So that means
we will go back to the noise, but I want to go back to your biography. So you got acquainted to what happened in Europe later, and you were
much later
intimately acquainted when you wrote the music, the famous music by now for the documentary, the great documentary, the 81st Blow. Yes.
Yes.
I think that perhaps we can introduce the first piece of music. Tell us about this.
Well, first thing, I was auditioned by Chaim Guri and David Bergman, and I gave a cassette of the first song of the film about Michael. Michael was the hero. He was the X on which the film went. The 81 blow he got 80 blows. You are supposed to die after 40. So somebody called Schwanberger, who went later to life sentence, hit him 80 times until he couldn't, the hand was too tired. And then a doctor saw that he was still moving, they saved him. And when he came to Israel, nobody believed him, especially not people who had been in the Holocaust. They say you went crazy, you cannot have it. So 81 blow is a blow of disbelieving. And this song is a song of disbelieving. The people of Lodz in August 8, 1944, Hitler is in the end of the end of the war. They still don't know where the train are going. So they take a young girl, Rahel Baum, which was the youth movement. She was very resourceful to put notes under the seat, because when you put the notes after the seat, the cleaning people who are Jewish can collect them and bring them back to their family. So she went to Auschwitz, she didn't know. In the song they say, I came to a station, there are people with pajamas and there are flowers and dogs. This was the last note. Mm-hmm. When we wrote the song, we didn't know that all these notes exist. And our uncle has it. And later it went to the museum, but when you see the handwriting, and it is really very emotional. So the municipality of Lodz took this train station and make it a little museum where you could see, you can see the station, and people who come there play the song. If they come with a Hebrew guide, they play the song. So when I went there, the Hebrew guy didn't know I wrote the song. So I asked him, can I talk about the song? He says, why? This is because I wrote it. He said, no, you're not serious.
So also let's hear the song
let's
now.
Hear it. Yes.
And then we'll perhaps talk about it. Yes.
Okay. It will take me.
Here we are.
Here we are. So let's go.
ואז ביקשנו מרחל לראות לאן נוסעות הרכבות, כשהן יוצאות כל הקרונות מלאים, כשהן שבות הספסלים ריקים. סי רחל עם הרכבת וראי לאן הולכת היא, לאן הולכת היא. שאלנו את נהגי הקטרים, לאן נוסעים היהודים שבקרונות, והם השיבו כי אינם יודעים, כי מתחלפים הם בין התחנות. סעי רחל עם הרכבת וראי לאן הולכת היא, לאן הולכת היא. סעי רחל השאירי לה מכתב, חבוי בסדק צר מתחת לספסל, וכאשר ישובו הקרונות נקרא בו ואולי נדע דבר מה. סעי רחל עם הרכבת וראי לאן הולכת היא, לאן הולכת היא. סעי רחל עם הרכבת וראי לאן הולכת היא. יצאה רחל עם הרכבת מן העיר, בקצה ספסל ישבה הנערה, עברה על פני שדות, על פני כפרים, גשרים ונהרות ויערד. סעי רחל עם הרכבת וראי לאן הולכת היא, לאן הולכת היא. אחר זמן רב הגיע אל מקום שלא ידעה את שמו רק ראתה, יורדים היהודים מן הקרונות, ועוד מילים הוסיפה במכתב. סעי רחל עם הרכבת וראי לאן הולכת היא, לאן הולכת היא. אני רואה צריפים, גינות פרחים, ושם של תחנה בגרמנית. אני שומעת קולות כלבים נובחים, ואנשים לובשים בגדי פסים.
כן. Fantastic. I mean, it's really very, very moving. I mean, you know, what sort of inspiration did you use for the song, for the very special music that we hear?
Yes, first I want to say that we didn't thought of everything. Everything is documentary. We just edited, and there were no voiceover. The voiceover was only 5 songs. There is the testimony of the Eichmann trial, which sometimes we put, and Chaim Guri wrote 5 songs, which I composed, and people, many times people ask me, what is a song that I heard in mind? So I had a song sung by John Baez about the film of Sacco and Vanzetti, the 2 anarchists, that were that was put to death in New York. They were blamed for putting bomb. So the music was by Morricone, Ennio Morricone, and John Baez was singing with a cello. So the first thing I think I should make a song with soprano and cello. And if you ever see this film, which is very important, Italian film, about Sacco and Vanzetti, is very important politically, you can see that I was really influenced from it. Because when I wrote this song, I was 33, between 33 and 34. And I didn't have a lot of experience. I have experience with films, because I knew the old way of sitting and measuring with a stopper the scene and then putting into music. But I think it was above other things that I did. And because of the emotions that I had while thinking about that girl, because especially when I saw the notes and they were so optimistic, she said, we sang all night. You see, the distance is less than half an hour between Lodz and Auschwitz. But the German took them to a big round that lasts all night, so they will not know where they are. All they could see is the word Auschwitz. And she said, we sang, and I had a friend, and he was from the right wing, from Beitar, that was the right wing of youth movement. But we get along very well, and we sang all night Hebrew songs. So I don't know what to say. Yeah.
But I think that we have a time just to play the other excerpt from this film, from this documentary. That is not a vocal; it's a
it's instrumental,
orchestra part. Yes, from the ghetto part.
Yes.
You see it, Ursula? And perhaps we'll hear it and then we'll talk about it.
I just want to tell you that Doron Salomon played the guitar. You know, he's a great conductor, but he was a great player, and he played the guitar.
Which one? Yossi, where do I find it?
This is the first one.
The first one?
Let me, just a second, take it up. Yes, it is the second one. The second one from the left. Yes, exactly.
This one.
No, this is not.
Yes.
No. I don't think.
No, this is Shuri Natan. Go down with a.
Yes.
More down.
Song from Birds Hanging on the Square.
No.
Go
down.
It's go more down.
I'm on the bottom.
So go up. I think it's the first one.
Still the first one. The Evening Bird Dances.
Still up.
No.
No, it's not song.
It's not by song. It's you have to go to audio. Go to audio. It's go to audio.
And then
the audio choose cinema. Maybe we find it there. Yes.
No, I don't think it's there. Okay, but never mind. So
okay, we'll leave it. I sent it to you, but I don't know where it is in my site. All I want to tell you about this part, it is the first time that I conducted the symphonic orchestra. It was the first time that Shem Tov Levi was playing classical music. He was very scared, but if you know Giora Friedman, he played bass clarinet. And Gerardo Friedman, his brother, was playing the bass flute, and they always told him, Coraggio, don't be afraid. And I didn't know how to conduct. It was so funny. But I had such good people like Doron Solomon, who had the solo guitar. And I feel even better with the instrumental parts.
But
Because
this,
with no text.
Perhaps you can find it afterwards in the site of Yossi, this part
Yes.
of the ghetto, about the Warsaw ghetto, because I think it's polyphonic in more than one sense. The first sense is the normal sense of polyphony in music. The second one is the juxtaposition of guitar and other with
Yes, it's very gentle.
Sorry?
Because people who play, young boys who look for a shtickle broid.
Yes, exactly. And the third polyphony, I think, is the polyphony between, in kind of style. Yes, it's not really that there, and it's not really there, or it combines the two.
The combination.
Yes.
So maybe later when we play other things, I will look at my site and prepare it.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
So I want to go, because we have already the background for my next question to you. You are so Israeli, yes, but in your music, yes, of course, you use all kinds of American, European, and many other backgrounds. And it's really makes me, very curious to ask you, how do you define your identity?
Actually, I love jazz. And we had a teacher in the school who came, he was a Professor Chaim Alexander. He's a great musician who used to improvise on the King David Hotel, which is the luxurious hotel, and used to play jazz.
He used to play in Germany before he came to Israel, in silent movies.
Yes, that's exactly.
Silent movies.
He's composer and unbelievable improviser. So he gave our class a lesson about jazz and Louis Armstrong. And then in 1959, I saw Louis Armstrong. He came to Israel to Binyanei Uma. And I sat right between the last one, I sat in the where people cross. And then he played When the Saints, and they made, and so I could smell him. It was a smell of whiskey. And I didn't know it was marijuana, which I didn't know what it is, and smoking. And it was so good to hear Louis Armstrong. I never believed that I could really hear. Yes, and then records and things like that. I learned with Danny Gottfried. I learned some jazz from anybody who knew jazz. I learned. And really in 1963, I had 2 months in Akko playing in the Ulamot Abirim stage. With, yes, the night with Mamelo, Uzi Melamed, Danny Gottfried, of course. And I learned to play. I was never a good player. My ideal to be a mediocre jazz player, which I couldn't.
This is how you define yourself, because you are so multi, all kinds of styles, from the classic to noise, as we said, and then you choose the jazz as the thing that defines you?
Well, I went to Porgy and Bess. Porgy and Bess came to Israel. So everybody was talking about the goat. There was a goat on the stage. But this is unbelievable. I think it was 1956. When you hear Porgy and Bess the first time in your life, I thought nothing could be nicer than that. And my parents had a piano, but nobody played it. So I used to play it a little bit. And then I found out at the age of 14 that I can impress girls if I play pop songs. So my wife will not like it, but that was the main reason that I played pop music. I never thought I'd be a composer, but I can hear. It's called Ozen. It's called in pop people. It's called you have an ear. That means to hear a melody and you can play it right away, or maybe after. So I could do it. Yeah. Right, and that was the way I dared to become a musician, is because I could hear a tune and play, or maybe do a second voice, which is very important. Yeah. I play bass also not very good. And I met Yitzhak Sadai. Probably you know Mr. Sadai.
He was my teacher.
Yes.
He was my teacher at the academy in Jerusalem.
The academy, exactly the same with me. My teacher from 61 to 1965. So he really changed my world. He taught me Syrian music. He was also my private teacher. And we became good friends. And it's very funny. I invited him when I got the Prime Minister Prize in 1991. So he came with his wife. And I said when I had to talk, said everything that I did and everything that I will do, it's all only because of my teacher, Yitzhak Sadai. Mm-hmm. So I asked his wife, how did he react? He said, he became 5 kilos fatter after hearing it. But I really believe, loyalty to a teacher and following your teacher, though you are not in touch with him, mm-hmm. is very important. And then I went to Juilliard, and I had some meetings. I learned a year with Luciano Berio, and I had a seminar with Elliot Carter, and many other. But what is so good about Juilliard is not the teacher, but the students. Everyone is better than you. You can be sure everyone wrote more than you, play better than you, make better words. So you just watch what they are doing. Mm-hmm. Like in solfeggio, when you have to write notes, I have trouble with score reading and writing. I just copy from the one who sits near me. They didn't believe that somebody could copy a test, an examination from somebody else. And I was very lucky when they made a keyboard audition. They give me a Bach chorale for you read by heart, but I pretend to read the notes. It's when you have trouble with your eyes, like 32 notes, a lot of notes. I had trouble with this. Mm-hmm. Luckily, I had the computer from 88 on. All the music is in the computer. Yes, I compose only on the computer because I cannot read my handwriting. Mm-hmm. When I make a crossword, I cannot read what I said, and I made a lot what I wrote.
But
I made a mistake in the YouTube.
As long as we are in the realm of classical, and we mentioned some of the teachers or some of the people you work with, let's talk about Lukas Voss, who is conducting the next piece that we'll have time perhaps to hear just a part of. Yes.
Yes.
Ad Asher. Yes. Ad Asher
unbelievable.
Kohelet Yud-Bet.
Kohelet Yud-Bet, Ad Asher. You want to play first and talk later?
No, perhaps just say a word or two about this. Yeah.
I saw Lukas Voss as an improviser. Many people blamed him for changing from Hindemith to Schoenberg, and then because he was so quick, he was an unbelievable pianist, and he was so quick to catch styles. So for a while, he didn't have a style of his own, the composer. Then he made an improvisation group in Buffalo, where I think he had the department of 4 people. They were unbelievable, good improvisers.
Yeah,
like there was a timpani hanging from the wall, and when he clutches his feet, there is a drumstick came and hit. All kinds of things that I didn't believe it was possible. And then I met him by accident 8 years later, with the help of Dori Ben-Zev and Batia Apollo, which he knew. And I told him I would really love, he said that the theme will be Psalms, the concert. They had sung by Stravinsky. So I said, do you mind if instead of Psalm I take Ecclesiastics, which I feel much? And he says, okay. So I took Adi Etzion and I wrote a piece dedicating to the death of my father, because the chapter 12 talk about the body as a city. Mm-hmm. And first, the night watchers are not working, and the people who watch the walls are not working, and nothing works. It goes slowly by slowly, and everyone should read it. I read it every year.
I think everyone should read it, of course, the Bible. But for me, I mean, this chapter describes the opposite process of creation. It's
exactly. It's like playing backwards.
Yes.
It's like playing backwards.
Yeah.
And then he says, vanity of vanities. Yes. Everything is vanity.
Very famous. But so
yes.
Let's hear part of this, which is longer, but it is on your site, and everyone can, of course, listen to it afterwards.
Okay. So, audio, classic.
Classic.
Yes, and now it's
go down.
4. Ad Asher.
Yes,
exactly. Yeah.
And you can see the score, the beginning of the score.
Score. Okay. We hear only a bit of it.
Yeah. Yes.
Stop here and go back to you.
I just wanted to say that this was the first time a piece of mine went on a record. Because of the reputation of Mr. Foss and other people, it was called Contemporary Vocal and Instrumental Music in Israel. It was by important company, Folkways, which went bankrupt with this. This was our last project. Now it was bought by Smithsonian, and you can find it. But for me, it was very exciting. It was only the second piece that I heard of myself playing in an orchestra. In my time, the dream of a composer is write for a philharmonic orchestra. Later, I had some opportunities. Maybe I wrote maybe 10 pieces for orchestra, but all over, all the music that I read is about 150, 200 pieces. So 10 of them are for big orchestras.
But is it not frustrating that the amount of work which is needed to write such a complicated, intricate piece is not comparable at all, to some pieces which are lighter sometimes and reach a much wider audience?
Well, I wrote a rock opera, and people really adored it. They play it all over again. They do reruns of it. They do it in school sometimes. They did it in the Beit Shvi School for Drama. They did it in Abima, and they did it many times. It was what is called Chad Pe'ami. It's unicorn. It's
unique
because I am not a rock composer. So I told the man who wrote the text of Mami is a political text about a girl who worked in a gas station, got married. In the same night, her husband went to Lebanon and come completely. He couldn't move. He couldn't. He couldn't talk. He couldn't do anything. So her life was destroyed. She take him to Tel Aviv to find out what is the real life. Then she go all kinds of hypnotic things, and she become a leader. She made a party and she declares war. After the war is complete failure, she has to come back to the province. So this is a story, and it is very funny. And the woman, Mazi Cohen, is unbelievable singer. So they made a film now, Mami, but the corona stopped it. Mazi was unbelievable. And Ehud Banai, who wrote the other half of the pieces, was so good. I don't know, maybe when you become religious, you won't, I don't think he would write it again or cooperate with something, but he was just in the beginning of his career.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote unbelievable music. It was very good music. And
so perhaps we'll listen to one of the songs that
sure.
You
the song
have
Tov Tov? Yossi,
Tov Tov.
Tov Tov, okay.
Tov, and then we'll talk about it, yeah.
Good. Now I have to scroll
I asked you to
video.
look at video songs.
To songs.
I really hope that he put it there.
Yes, you did. I think it's down
Tov
here.
Tov. Tov
Tov
Tov.
Tov.
Tov Tov, exactly, yes.
Now, we should hear this.
מספרת בדלת מלפק נהגים שלי נהגים באים אביב וריח מפך חביתות ובנזין מפך חביתות ובנזין מוצאי שבת ויביאן גורלי הרצל מבואס הדרני וכולם יוצאים מהבית יש פה לי קרבה
Yossi, perhaps we have to say something about the words because she's using, of course, the expression, the Hebrew expression, "Anachnu ala mapa," yes,
Yeah.
which became very
basketball.
famous from basketball. Yes, in German it would be "Wir sind wieder wer." Yes, we are strong again, so to speak. Yes, and I want to ask you: do you think that in Israel of 2020, such a very strong, very harsh, opera would be possible?
I think yes, but the people who made it possible, they don't exist. They don't exist anymore. You take all the people who took it had an experience. They had rock experience, they had jazz experience, they had stage experience. And the people who is now calling the shots are not that interesting people. I don't think you would like to talk to them. I don't think you like to, you cannot listen to them. So the chance that this kind of production, which was, we had trouble with some songs also in the 80s.
Of course.
Especially the song of the rape.
Yes.
We had some trouble, but we had Chavta. Chavta is a place of entertainment that was established by a left-wing party and was financed by kibbutzim and other things. And though they lost money, they insist of going on. And then we saw that people, especially soldiers, come, the same people, come day after day. I think I saw most of the, but you see all the people that come there have already heard it. And you know, if I go to a hairdresser or something like that, and he says, "You are in Mommy, no?" I mean, this is many people know me only because of Mommy, which is very funny. Like it happened with the great translation, Aaron Amir, that nobody knew who he was. But then Meir Ariel says, "Tirgem et Yafeh Aaron Amir." He says, Aaron Amir translated Hemingway. And then everybody asked, "Who is this?" He just translated about 100 books. But a small remark on a song, and everybody knows you.
Yes, but you know, today I think that Israeli rock opera would also look very different. I mean, it would be either more to
be a rap opera,
more the Oriental type, more the religious or light religious style, but not the style of the 80s, the hard 80s, yes. Rock and pop and so on.
That's what happened. You know, I got together with the arrangers the Ophir Prize, which is Israeli Oscar for this song. And I told them when I went to stage, I says, all we want is, I mean, it's political, but it's fun. We wanted to get high and play rock. What happened in the movie, it is very sad because it is a socially sad story. She comes from a province, she made very little money, she works like hell. Like in the play, she says, "Café, chavitot, benzine, coffee, omelets, and gas." This was, but she's not unhappy. And even when terrible things happened, the thing was play strong and play hard and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
And in the movie, it's really the Oriental orchestration of Dudu Tassa, which is very interesting. But it has this problem of somebody. Like when I look at Mazi Cohen, I thought of Billie Holiday, not Kulthum.
Yes.
And when I see, everyone was there, for me was a character. Even Ehud Banner was a kind of Bob Dylan.
Well, let's go back to the subject that we mentioned in the beginning, the subject of noise.
Yes.
Of producing all kinds of thick loops and things, and using all kinds of experimental, instruments or non-instruments or whatever you want to call it. One of them, which I found really, exhilarating, I would say, is your kind of, sound, personal impression of Korea. Yes. And,
yes.
Really, I mean, amazing. I
want to tell you something very funny about it.
I'd like also to come to the part where you see the children. Yes. It's really particularly fantastic.
Listen to something that
tell us something about this.
You as a musician, you will appreciate how hard it is. I photos the changing of the guards. Of course, it has a certain rhythm and a certain tonality.
Yes.
So my son said it's not enough. He took from the YouTube something that happened like 15 years ago. It was the same tempo. He don't believe it. You play the changing of the guard. How do you keep the tempo for so many years? I don't know how many years they keep it. The same sound. You couldn't believe it because it's a holy thing for him. The changing of the guard of the palace.
Yeah.
They are it's a very musical country, Korea, and I like to make a piece from every country that I visit. Started with Palermo, when they have a museum in a monastery where people are what's called embalmed, but nothing left but the skeleton, and they dress it like there are the Pope, kings, all kind of things. It's really horrible. And I wrote a very nice piece about it, but it's really you don't believe it.
Macabre.
Macabre. Ronnie Somek wrote about the 4 years old. There is a 4 years old girl that and he wrote a poem about it when he came to Palermo.
Yeah.
So I did Korea. I did about Poland. It's called. You don't really have to do it. That's cannot be more Polish than that.
Yeah.
And Korea was the first one, and I think it was the most successful one. So I'll be happy if Ursula will play us something of the Korea text. I have to also my son who photoed it and edited it and did everything.
Okay.
Also my site.
Let's see. At
So-
3. Let's see. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's share it now. And this is the
You
video.
go. No.
No.
You go on video on.
Yeah. What
Go
did
back. You go back. Go back.
Well, let me see. Why cannot
You cannot get it if you don't go back.
I
In
know.
the right. In the
Let me
right.
stop first. Let me stop first
yes.
and see what happens.
No, to try again. I find it for you.
Now let me try again. I changed it now.
Yes, it's on the video.
Okay, so it's on video
Video performances. Performances.
and I think it's
Yes.
number 2. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
מה עם המשקפיים?
זאת אומרת.
let me stop here.
Yeah.
I think we have a great impression from your multitude of your versatility. Yes.
The Korea, they learn to play when they are 3 months old. And
but
when they are 4, they know all the
to play, but to perform.
They perform, they are beautiful performances.
Yes.
It's so nice. And well, I did something which is not completely honest. We took a German performance artist and singer, very avant-garde, the one with a pink.
Yes.
And my son put her all kind of places, like reacting to the Korean Conservative Society. So she's running there and shouting. And this was somebody from completely different world, but I love it.
But also,
and beautiful children.
Yes, but it's also something that it's so interesting to see. We saw the inside of making that.
Making it, yes.
Yes, you saw the the tapes and the hammer, and everyone walking and doing the things that produce. So the production process got into the work itself.
Most of these performances or installation are not something that you hear in the YouTube. You have to be there. We use the audience. When I did something about Poland, it seems that there was a professor of Polish came to the Zimmer.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 2 women who came there when they heard I put a Polish lullaby that also was known in Hebrew. And they came because of it. And I was afraid that the smoke will hurt them because people smoking and asking the smoke doesn't bother you. They say, oh, we can smoke. And they both get out cigarettes. And then they took the professor of Polish and they talked to him a long time. He was enjoying it. There was a place that we said the word kurve for 2 minutes. I will not play it for you because Ursula will get in trouble, but he liked it very much. Mm-hmm. Polish artists are very progressive, in jazz, of course, but in movies, in punk, and everything. So as the Polish from both sides,
yes,
I identify with the Polish nation.
I see. But when we are talking about the inside of making the music, I want to come to the last piece that we have time for today, and this is the inside of making classical music, orchestral music, and it's music which is dedicated not to the players or to the conductors, the ones get the applause in every concert, but to the stagehand. Stagehand, these almost transparent people, that put and do the whole process of putting all these things on stage and putting
the library, all the notes, all the scores, and taking care of the conductor. I was a stagehand for a while.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about the piece that part of it we'll listen to.
Well, Stagehand was written, dedicated to Ilan Amidor, who's, I think, 45 years of being a stagehand. Mm-hmm. He was not a very pleasant person. You cannot be a pleasant person if you have to take care of the score and all the instruments. You have to take care that they will not touch them, they will not touch, that somebody else will not touch something that he could. So I had 4 stagehands. One of them was Benji Shira. He was the chairman of the orchestra, the director of the orchestra. He gave the conductor the baton. After it, because he started playing like that, and then Benji Shira came and give them the baton to do all kind of, and I was a stagehand, but I put things that was taken from other performances. I put tennis balls, 20 tennis balls. I put 3 electric brushes,
yes,
and something to make the coffee, the milk, the things that you when you make the milk.
But I can tell you that Ilan Amidor yes, after he retired, yes, he became a very pleasant person. So that's,
Yes,
I know him. So
because you walked with him.
let's show if part of the work, and Ilan Amidror, of course, is starring in it.
Yes.
Ursula, please.
Okay. So, it's my turn again. Okay.
I think it will be in video because it's a video.
It's a video classic, yes. I know what I
Try this one. Yes, stagehand. The one on the right, bottom, that's.
this one.
Yes.
Let me see. I hope. Let me stop here for a moment. Yes. Unless you want to draw or want to focus on another excerpt from this piece, from this music piece, which comes later, I don't know. Because it's all about, it's yes, 10, 11 minutes long.
The three chairs are waiting for the
electric toothbrush and the tennis ball, and I mean, all kind of relics of my past.
Yeah, it's like, yes, tennis, yes? You speak,
yes.
You
play? Yeah, today in the morning I played. I had an hour.
And you don't have tennis?
I play like 2 or 3 hours a week.
Wow.
And we did a great experiment with tennis balls in which we put on the rackets small microphone. We bought a tennis gun, we shoots it as put on them. We put all kind of metals and stones, and we did it in the Muswara a mixed festival.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of children who come, especially from the religious people who live there, come towards the tennis. And we taught one of them how to play tennis. And at the end, they told us the first time, this is like after 17 Muswara festival, the first time somebody thought about little children.
Yes.
Because we are always on a high pedestal. But this tennis things is really for children.
So
And
this is
they-
really kind of,
Yes. I wish we had time to show it.
compilation of biography and music, of all kinds, and also the stagehands, as you mentioned before. Very good. So, Mary, perhaps we will round up this conversation with a question, which is more general. How do you see music in Israel today, or musicians, in these times?
Right now, it's awful. I was lucky that because of the corona, not because they are not creative, but it's really awful. There's no concerts. I was lucky that we did something in a museum without audience, but we broadcasted it, and we got a lot of responses from people who watched it.
Mm-hmm.
And I did economically. They never had such a terrible thing that they cannot perform. So after they had a recess, they did some concerts,
Mm-hmm.
but they stopped very, very shortly. So I don't know what they will do. But it's not only musician. I mean, the whole country is waiting for it, because Israel has a lot of good composers, really good composers, good performers. We had our avant-garde places where you can do whatever we want. The thing is that we are closed. And I don't know what to say.
So is Germany, I hear. I mean, so is Germany. So
I know.
It's a global program, and
I know. I was supposed to be in Bonn on the 3rd of November. So, but it will be, I hope that in June, we'll already be afterwards.
Mhm.
Yes,
we
we're
all
working
hope.
on that for
Yes.
sure.
Yes. So, Yossi Mar-Chaim, thank you very, very much. Congratulations, and
Thank you.
Thank you.
your important work on all kind of dimension and styles. And thank you also, Ursula, and thank all the viewers and listeners, who joined us for this hour. And shalom from Jerusalem.
Okay, shalom everybody.
Shalom to Tel Aviv and shalom to Jerusalem. Thank you very much, David Witzthum, for your excellent moderation. And thank you, Yossi, for bringing us to your workplace, for sharing your wonderful music pieces, your life, your insights. And while we have some notes here in our commentary, not that I would read everything, but like congratulations to you, Yossi, and also in German herzliche Grüße an euch in Jerusalem und Rheinbach von Heidi und Bernd in Meckenheim. I think this is for you.
Grüße und Liebe.
Yes, and happy birthday, of course, to Yossi.
Yes, thank you.
And so this is the best Erev Tov Yerushalayim v'Tel Aviv. So yes, thank you to both of you again. And
as we say in Israel, in Europe, 12 points.
Okay, so please wait for a few seconds. What I would like to share with our viewers is, I'll say it in German now. Ich möchte gerne einen weiteren Programmhinweis geben. zum Thema Ritualmordlegende in der faschistischen Propaganda mit Gunnar Mokosch bieten wir ein YouTube-Gespräch an am Sonntag, den 8. November um 18 Uhr. Also bitte schon mal vormerken, das Ganze findet dann in Deutsch statt. Entsprechende Programmhinweise werden Sie dann noch finden, entweder hier auf unserem YouTube-Kanal sowieso, aber auch auf Facebook. Okay, vielen Dank nochmal fürs Zuhören, fürs Zuschauen und ich hoffe, Sie bleiben uns gewogen und wünsche Ihnen einen guten Abend und Erev Tov nach Israel.
Okay.
Tschüss.